I'm Gitzi Adler. The top story tonight is a Sefer Torah being dedicated in South Fallsburg.
The Back and North and Gelfand families gathered here tonight to honor the memory of Mordechai Gelfand. But we don't know any of these people.
We go now live to our reporters at the scene. And now we go live to our reporters on the scene.
Hi, my name is Yehudas. And I'm Adina.
We're at the Nos from Malaya.
Family and friends are gathering here tonight in honor of the Sefer Torah being dedicated for our Uncle Mordechai Gelfand. There will be many guest speakers. We hope you enjoy our amazing program.
Let's back up, guys.
Mas Hashem oh so avakesh v'yachashuati miyes Hashem v'yachashuati miyes Hashem oh so avakesh shivki b'veis Hashem oh yemechaya nachzuz b'noya Hashem u'nevakeh b'heicholo Shoalti meyes Hashem, oh so avakesh. Shivki b'veis Hashem, oh yemei chayai. Nachzos b'noyam Hashem, levakeh b'heicholo. Shivki b'veis Hashem, oh yemei chayai. Nachzos b'noyam Hashem, levakeh b'heicholo. Yes, Oh
Simcha.
Oy mi huza malach hakavod Adonai tzvois umelach hakavod salam
De Sabbe Kadische, der Reb Zische, hat jede Nacht sich Seier vertracht. Am Seifer sich Reunes, mit tiefe Geschbeunes, sich übergeklärt. Seine Jungen verträgt. Ich will sein ehrlich, alles schon verrichten. Beit ich beschäfe, Hashiveini. Ich hab schon gesucht vor dir, dasselbe wird Nächten. Jetzt mein ich es, emes dich, hör mich zieh. Hashiveini, uvini, lesoiru sechu, lesoiru sechu. Vekorveini, malkeini, Lavoy du sechu Vehachzireini B'tshivu shleimu B'tshivu shleimu Levonecho Vehachzireini B'tshivu shleimu B'tshivu shleimu
FallsburgJackson. Baruch Shechianu V'Kimanu V'Yanu Nazman Hazeh. It's a very special occasion. I think on behalf of the whole family, we want to give tremendous debt of gratitude to Mommy and Daddy for putting this together. The idea came up during Mommy's birthday party a few months ago. At that point, it was just a thought. And Devorah encouraged and said she thought it would be a nice idea. And Baruch Hashem, there must have been many schusim involved because B'li Ayin Hara, this came together very quickly in a record time. So really, it was Daddy saw and we came to him, we approached him, and he was all for it. And he said, let's do it. And Baruch Hashem, today we're able to celebrate a brand new Sefer Torah, a brand new Sefer Torah to Sun Circle, which probably has never had a Sefer Torah donated to it in all 40, 50 years. And I think it's very befitting that it's here in the summer. And as the Sefer is Leilu Nishmas, our dear brother-in-law Morty, and I think we all spending the summers together was a very special time we had with him. Every time was special. And I think he really left a tremendous impact on every one of us. You know, every day I was by Ephraim told me sometimes he has like a Morty fund for different things that he thinks about, that he wants to help out other people. Morty was natural of it. Morty did everything for anyone at any time, and he didn't make you feel like he was doing anything special for you. I was thinking this morning, Baruch Hashem, Shmuel Yitzchak made it back about 2 in the morning. 4 o'clock this morning, Ali Baruch was supposed to get on a flight, and he's unaccompanied minor, so he had to have someone that brought him to the airline to United in Grand Rapids this morning. And the person who brought him there, for some reason, when we first told them who was bringing them there, was a different person, was the head counselor, and then it turned out to be the camp driver. I had United switch it, but at the desk in Grand Rapids, they were refused. They said that he's not on the file and they can't let him board the plane. So until we went back and forth, this is 4:30 in the morning, and finally they agreed to let him through. He got through security, got to the gate, and they closed the door, and they said they're sorry, it's too late, and they're not going to be able to make the flight. So he called me up, I don't know, maybe it was about 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning, and he said they just closed the flight and he's not going to be able to make it. And he told me there's another flight, there's another flight that's going out at 7:20, which you can wait around another hour and they'll be boarding for the next flight. But Allegiant has a policy that there's no unaccompanied minors allowed on the flight. So there was no way I could really put him on the Allegiant flight, and the camp driver obviously wasn't going to go with him. And then I had a thought. I said to him, why don't you just check around in the airport, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Maybe there's another Yid in the airport that's somehow traveling here. And he says, you know what? There's a guy standing in line here. He walks over to the guy and says, just hand him your cell phone. I have no idea what his name was. I said, my son's trying to get the Achas Sefer Torah. And I said, would you be kind enough to just maybe buy another ticket and have him go along with you? And the guy's like, sure. He said his name. I still don't know what it is. Ali Baruch, you know what his name is? I have no. Ali Baruch doesn't know his name either. We both don't know his name. And I think that's a Morty moment. Because Morty's someone that would have done that for anyone. He didn't make a difference if he knew you, he didn't know you. He loved every person. Someone needed a favor, he would just do it for you. And again, whether that was Eliyahu Navi in the airport or someone else, some fam, some man, and again, Grand Rapids, 6 o'clock in the morning. But Baruch Hashem, Ali Baruch made it, and Moshe was kind enough to bring him up. And I think these Morty moments we have in our lives, in many different ways we see them, where people go out of their way to do something. And I was thinking, the lady from United, she didn't know who we were, and there was nothing she really cared about letting a young boy in a flight that really made no difference to her. And then you have a Yid who was standing in the airport, who didn't mind that he's maybe going to miss the flight himself, standing by the check-in, trying to book another ticket for someone who has no idea who he is, just because someone on the phone asked him to do a favor. And I think these moments are very special, and I think every one of us have a little Morty inside of us, and every one of us try to live these lessons in our own lives. He obviously did a phenomenal job, and he made every one of us feel so special, and we try to do it again in our lives. And I think so many times if we open our eyes, we'll see how lucky we are to have those special Morty moments. And I think it's very befitting to have a brother-in-law who himself, day and night, would do anything for anyone. He's someone who, by an example, just watching him as we got close over the past few months, Yaakov Erez was someone who, day and night, there was no day, there was no night, he would wake up in the morning, you'd call him at night, he's there, and he cared, and he really set an example for us of how special it is to care for other people. And with that, we'd like to introduce Yaakov to share a few words with Rebecca Mazdav.
People start at Simcha or other events of I was asked to speak, and then they follow up with a joke or something. I was asked to speak and I chose to ignore the Torah completely, up until a few minutes ago actually. It's just too hard. I guess I'll just speak from the heart for just a few minutes. We hear and we keep hearing how Morty was a giver, and we all know it's true, and we'll continue to hear these stories hopefully forever. We all grew from it, and we saw it, and we know it. I always heard that Chesed began at home. At least that was something that I heard. I'd like to just make my own spin on this. So if you don't agree, then so be it. Go back that leg breaking. I think something that we could all work on, and I don't know who I am to say this, but again, take it as you'd like. Chesed begins at home, and I think home begins with ourselves. As much as giving to others is super important, and there's a lot to learn from it, and it could work concurrently with working on ourselves. I think we have to have a full cup for ourselves in order to give to others. Something I was thinking of. One other thought, and I'll be finished yet. We unfortunately see in negative times how Klal Yisrael comes together. Unfortunately, we saw it the first few months of this year, and it's an absolutely beautiful thing. And again, I'm a nobody, but just my own thoughts that hopefully we could come together for good times as well. Doesn't matter which walk of life you came from. They came to help for the first few months of this year and during other tragedies. And hopefully Klal Yisrael could come together for good as well. And more discussed. Thank you.
unbelievable. The next speaker, can you hear me? Clear? The next speaker is the one Bakenroth son. Shmuel Yitzchak is the keeping the torch, the Bakenroth torch. We all try to, but Shmuel Yitzchak is the one. Shmuel Yitzchak at Kabbalah Shabbos uses my father-in-law's Nigunim. Shmuel Yitzchak's davening. Shmuel Yitzchak was brought up and has been followed and filled the shoes to the next generation, Baruch Hashem. When he was in Eretz Yisrael, there was Sheva Brachas going on. Didn't get him to come back so quickly. We told him about the Achnasa Sefer Torah. And we're doing the special Achnasa Sefer Torah from Morty. Shmuel was on a flight back, and even after making it back, he had a baseball game. And with the baseball game and coming back from Eretz Yisrael, he made it his business to make sure that he was here. And it's an honor and privilege to hear him share some of the brachas.
So first I just want to start out and echo Chaim's original comments. I know he went on for a long time the first time and just kept it short here. But this has to be a record for Achnasa Sefer Torah and putting together from the original thought to getting to where we are right now and to this beautiful Achnasa Sefer Torah. I think it's, thank you to everybody, obviously, Daddy and Mommy, but also Chaim, who can't thank himself, was involved in everything. Anybody who knows Chaim knows he works at only one speed, and it's definitely not on any speedometer. It's way beyond. He's like a Tesla on steroids. I also want to add just one more thank you. I want to just make sure that we thank the Gelfand family. We've seen through unimaginable strength over the last couple of months, how they've been able to be there and support Devorah in every way possible, and we want to thank them for that, and hopefully they'll continue, and we'll continue to share and hopefully simplify together going forward. In Parshas Vayelach, we're introduced to the last mitzvah in the Torah, the mitzvah of writing a Sefer Torah. The Pnei Yeshua and Kedushin says that there are 600,000 letters in the Sefer Torah. Right? Not coincidentally, of course, 600,000 is the number of Bnei Yisrael that we count in Bamidbar. So the obvious meaning is that every person is unique. Every person has a significance, and they're essentially one letter in the Sefer Torah. And that also, if one letter is missing, or one unique trait from one person is missing, then the Sefer Torah itself is puzzled. And I think that when we write a Sefer Torah, we dedicate something in memory of someone. We have the ability to perpetuate not only their uniqueness, but we're also able to connect to them and bring an Aliyas Neshama to them. And this obviously is a very beautiful way to continue to connect to Morty and to have a schus going forward. Morty was, of course, one of those amazing and unique people that we all talk about, but he's, just was an amazing, special person. I think the first time that I met him was way back, even before Devorah had met him. Back in Yeshiva Farakaway, I was friends with Ezra Lindig, and so Morty would hang out with us every once in a while, and he'd come in, and he was a little ninth grader. I would say he probably was never little, but Morty was certainly one of those people. He was one of those people who always had a smile on his face. He always had people around him. He was one of those people that was, people wanted to hang out with, and people wanted to go around with, and people wanted to, have fun with. And even when he got older, and I got to know him on a different level, obviously, and I realized that Morty was unique in his ability to make people feel special. And he was one of those people that, many people, when given the opportunity with something in front of them, they can make somebody feel special with a kind word, and that's the easy one. Morty would find ways to facilitate his being able to make somebody special. He would go out of his way. He would remember some mundane part of their life and then text them or call them and create this sort of significance and make them feel special in their own way. A few months ago, I had the pleasure of davening in the shul of Oakley Hills. And I got to see firsthand when Morty was fundraising for the shul, and he talked about people doing moedim into each other and elbows in everybody's ribs. I got to see firsthand the shul, but I also got to see firsthand the people that he hung out with, and the people that he wanted to go ahead and build this wonderful shul. And I remember that campaign. He wrote this amazing email that I wish I could read over here, but he went through the history of Jackson and everything, and he threatened to send liver across the country to people who would donate. It was all sorts of crazy things, but all really for you know, to A, make people feel special, but also to go ahead and help out at a greater level. And when I got over there, I saw that there was a poster on the wall, and it talked about all the different people and all their different involvements. And I think Morty, where the category that he was in was cornerstone, which is a little bit unique. I've never seen that before. Normally in a building you see, you know, benefactor, and you see founder and builder and all sorts of other things, but there he was as the cornerstone. So of course, you know, knowing cornerstone, or cornerstones are normally what you see on those old banks. So I went and I looked it up on Google. The translation of cornerstone is an important quality or feature on which a particular theme depends. Morty was a cornerstone. He was somebody who everybody, you know, everything that he did, he was a cornerstone. He was someone that we all depended on, whether it was for a shul, whether it was for family, whether it was Shmu's school, who he bravely was one of the first parents that stepped up into a school that Baruch Hashem is budding into a beautiful school. He was always somebody that shouldered the load, and he helped people build on it. We all miss Morty a tremendous amount. Now, in the schluss of the Sefer Torah and our perpetuation of Morty's legacy and the Morty moments and all the different things that we think about what would Morty do, should hopefully have a tremendous aliyah and a big schluss.
It's a covenant honor to call upon my father-in-law to share some Divrei Bracha. He happens to have his yard side of his father today, which he personally told me this morning. This is, you know, right now it's Morty's moment at Sefer Torah, and both are huge schusim, and today both those schusim should go in Shemayim. And as I say, there's plenty for everyone up there. And Mitzvah Hashem, all the schusim should be for everyone. And Elias Neshama, both for Morty and for my Shver's father, should have a lichtig Gan Eden. And the Mitzvah Hashem, we should have a come Mashiach, Meir B'Yameinu.
Actually, generally speaking, I have no difficulty speaking. But this is a little bit different. There are many ways that one can respond to a circumstance, toiv v'ra v'yirvuvio, positive and negative all together. Well, the Rebbeinu makes the world toiv v'ra v'yirvuvio. That's part of the design. So one reaction could be by Idamar, say nothing. And I thought about it. I said, you know something, there are plenty of people to speak. Who says that I have to get up and say anything? But you know something, I said, I have enough rights. I have enough rights to say something, and the things that I would like to say and to share with you. Everybody knows, and that I've said many times, I make no distinctions between my son and my son-in-laws, and my daughter and my daughter-in-laws. Once you marry into the family, you're a child. And when things happen, one has to be concerned, one has to think about it, and one has to draw certain conclusions. And sometimes the conclusion is, I don't know. I simply don't know. The Gemara in Tainus ends in a very strange way. It talks about the fact that there's going to be a circle of tzaddikim, losid lovoi. The Rebbeinu Shalom calls them all together. The chol tzaddik v'tzaddik mar la'etz boy. So Rashi says, kipshutoi mar la'etz boy. They'll point to the Rebbeinu Shalom, zesha kivina loi v'yoshienu, zesha kivina loi nogilo v'nismacha b'yishua soy. That's right. Chol tzaddik v'tzaddik mar la'etz boy. Rashi says that, certainly that's a shot. So let me give you an alternative shot. What did the Khartoumim say to Paroi? Etz velikimi. Kol tzadik v'tzadik mar lo yetz boy. And la'asid lovoi, the Rebbeinu Shalom, will put together the tzaddikim, and it's show and tell time. Each tzaddik will show his etz boy, and we'll ask him, why did it happen? And the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to give a teretz. but there's going to be two responses. One is one response. Notice the difference between the first and the second part of the pasuk. What is missing is Nogilo v'nismecha b'yeshuasai. And the reason for that is La'asad Lovei, the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to give you a teretz, and he will give you a teretz, and we will all be moed al emes, and we'll understand why it had to be. But there will be two reactions. One is we will be moed al emes. But whatever happened had to happen. We're not necessarily going to say. It depends on what the situation is. So I am sure, La'asad Lovei, I will say, as we always say, but Nagila v'nismecha b'yeshuasai, we're not necessarily required to say under certain circumstances. We have different minhagim how we deal with these things. So we try and do certain things for the benefit of the Patir. What is the purpose of all of this activity? So there's a famous Rashi. Rashi says, Nasa Adam b'tzalmeinu kidmuseinu. Rashi says, then what do you mean Nasa Adam? We will make men. Is there an army up there? Is there a committee as to making of men? Is there one more rishus other than our Rebbeinu Shalom? So the Rebbeinu Rashi says, in Venusa shall HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the Rebbeinu Shalom shows his invenusa that he consults with lesser beings. All right, very good. Couldn't the Rebbeinu Shalom find another place to demonstrate in Venusa shall HaKadosh Baruch Hu without creating the question that there's more than one rishus? I mean, find some other place. Why here? In fact, you know the Gemara in Megillah says is that when we get a little chance to do a little editorialization, the 72 Zekanim do not translate it Nasa Adam. Translate Nasa Adam. I will make clear. So the Rebbe says something very important. Every person is the product of the efforts of many people. A father, a mother, a shcheinim, kroim, rabbeim, Nasa Adam. We will make man. Every person is the product of the efforts of many other people. His tukkunim, that means he becomes what he's supposed to be because there are shutvim in the making of that person. And not only there are shutvim in the tikkun of man, but there are shutvim in what the man is supposed to be misakin. Sometimes a person can leave this world and has not yet accomplished everything that has to be accomplished. So there's a year period of tikkunim, sort of a period where there's an accelerated effort to be masakin that which has not been masakin. And there's all kinds of tikkunim that can be done b'shamayim. But you know something? There can be tikkunim that can be done over here as well. Because every person has a shutuf. He has shutuf in his making and in what he makes. And therefore, although he is not able to do the things that he's supposed to do in this world, his shutufim can do it and can be misakin that which he, unfortunately, was not able to do. Otherwise, is necessary to come back another time. And it's not a pleasant experience. A person goes to the Olam Emes and he sees the Olam Haba. To come back to this world is not a great deal. After a person who lives in luxury and a palace, to go back into a small hut is a very, very difficult thing, and that's the problem of Gilgal HaKoyzel. So therefore, there are other ways to be masakin. And the other ways is his shutvim. The shutvim in the Nasa Adam, they now pick up the slack and they do the things that he could have done, but unfortunately was not able and zoiche to do. But how do you know what are the tikkunim? Very difficult to understand what are the tikkunim of a person. So there's a catch-all. There's a catch-all tikkun that applies to every person. So Reb Chaim Volozhin says that, as we know, there's 248 mitzvahs eseh and 365 mitzvahs lois aseh. And that each one of these tikkunim, each one of these mitzvahs, relates to a certain tikkun of a certain avor or a certain gira. And what is true in the Gashmius is true in the Ruchnius. That each one of these mitzvahs is programmed to deal with a specific tikkun that the person has to have. However, how do we know what it is that still has to be done? So apparently there's a catch-all mitzvah. And the catch-all mitzvah is Limud HaTorah. Limud HaTorah applies to all the tikkunim. Because the purpose of a person is the Nasa Adam and the Tikkun of man. What is the process of Nasa Adam? Limud HaTorah. In other words, the Torah gives you a means of the Tikkun of man. So therefore the Limud HaTorah can deal with every one of the Tikkun. So therefore we have certain minhagim, we say Mishnayos, but one of the minhagim are is that we write a Sefer Torah for the schus of the Petir. That has many dimensions to the schus. One dimension to the schus is Achnosas Sefer Torah. The Achnosas Sefer Torah is we are reliving a great moment in the history of Klal Yisrael. We are reliving Kabbalas HaTorah. Rabbi Shalom now gives us another opportunity that Kilu Masha Kiblu Bikvar. Right? We all were at Har Sinai. We all said Nasiv and Ishma. We all said it. But that's not sufficient. Kimu v'kiblu masha kiblu kvar. Our responsibility is that now we come back into this world, we have to kimu v'kiblu masha kiblu kvar. What we said originally in Har Sinai, now it is our opportunity that we have to redo it. Now we have to do it again. We have to be makabel that which we originally said that we were prepared to do. So, we write a Sefer Torah. What is the purpose of Kriyas HaTorah? The purpose of Kriyas HaTorah is Limud HaTorah Nefahesya. That's its purpose. Moshe Rabbeinu, Regem put in a system whereby several times a week we gather together and we learn Torah Nefahesya. And that has the schus of Limud HaTorah. So one of the reasons why B'dafka we write a Sefer Torah in someone's schus is because the Limud HaTorah is a tikkun for whatever may have to be misaken that we may not know about. That's the way it goes. So we now turn around and we make a Sefer Torah. However, there's yet a special schus to write the Sefer Torah within the Shana. Because the Shana is the time of the special effort that is made to be masakin, everything that has to be cleaned up. Both the Mala and the Mata. One of the reasons that we say the Kaddish is because there is a year period where there are tikkunim. And we do it 1 month less because we don't want to indicate that perhaps you acquired the entire 12-month period. So we say it only 11 months. Why do we say the Kaddish? What's the reason for it? Take a look at the Kaddish. Is there anything in the Kaddish that says anything whatsoever about the Ketira? Not a word. Nothing in there. Yiskadel, Shnei Rabo. Right, there's all a discussion of the Rebbeinu Shalom who created the world according to his will and he continues to run it and he brings the Geula. Nothing at all about the Ketira. Not a word. So what is the reason for this tefillah? And this tefillah is universally accepted from Fry throughout the entire Jewish world. I don't care who he is. Everybody says Kaddish. What's the reason for this Kaddish? So, I'm going to tell you a story. A story that was told to me by a cousin of mine who went through the concentration camp with my father, Lov Shalom. And they were liberated by the Russians. And they asked permission if they could say a tefillah for the Pedirum. The Russians were no more interested than their brothers in giving permission, but they gave permission and they allowed a tefillas mincha to take place. The entire camp gathered together for the specific purpose of saying the Kaddish. And they go through mincha and they finish Aleinu, and it's now time to say Kaddish. And they can't say Kaddish. They can't say it. They can't say Yiskadal, Yiskadash, Shemei Rabo. Behold, this is the world that he created. He was the king and he ran it at the time. Everything that took place while he was overseeing it. And they can't say it. They can't say it. My father then steps forward and puts a talis on, and he begins to say Yiskadel, Yiskadei, Shemei Rabo, and the entire camp erupts into crying and screaming and shouting. Yeah, the people start to say that everyone was now able to say it, couldn't say it. And then a person came over to my father and he says, how could you say it? Take a look at all those dead bodies. How can you say it? Yiskadel, Yiskadei, Shemei Rabo, V'yolmo Divarah, you designed this, V'yamlich Malchusei, and you're the king who ruled over this while all of this took place. How can you say it? What is the response? Maybe the response is Vayidam Aaron. Maybe he shouldn't say anything. That's Aaron didn't say anything. Maybe that is the response. So my father turns around to the man and he says, I can't tell you why all of this happened. But there's one thing I can tell you. If I mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom, it's the Rebbeinu Shlom who's going to say the hesped for the Petirim. I thought about this story for many. I heard the story over 25 years ago, and the truth is I didn't understand the story at all. And I don't understand what my father, Lov Shalom, said to the man. But I was sitting around and I saw Kedushas Levi. He says something very interesting. He says that the Yom Tov of Pesach, we refer to the Yom Tov as Pesach, and the Rebbeinu Shlom refers to as the Chag HaMatzos. So why do we refer to as Pesach and the Rebbeinu Shlom as the Chag HaMatzos? Pesach is a Pshat Posach. We Meshabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom that there's a time of the year that the Rebbeinu Shlom is Posach. He skips over all the negative chesroinus of Klaus. He simply doesn't look at it. He only looks at the positive. So we're Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom. Our Rebbeinu Shlom, we have a Rebbeinu Shlom who at a certain time of the year, he's maver al midoisam. He has many reasons to look at the negative. He skips over that. So we're Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom. And the Kedushas Levi says when we're Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom reciprocates by calling the Yom Tov the Chag HaMatzos Lechter Acharai B'Midbar Loila Ham. They went out in the Midbar without food, without water. So when we are Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom is Mishabeach us. And that's what my father told me. I can't tell you why the things happened. Losid Lovi, the Moran Taina says, there's going to be a circle of tzaddikim, v'chol tzaddik v'tzaddik marlad's boy. We're going to ask him and he's going to tell us. However, the one thing that I do know is that we're Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom, which is all the Kaddish is. It's just the Mishabeach of the Rebbeinu. If we are Mishabeach the Rebbeinu Shlom, then it's the Rebbeinu Shlom who says the hesped. He's the one who macht the cheshbon of the godless of the niftar. We don't have to say a word. And that's the purpose of the Kaddish. And my father said it, and I just couldn't understand it, but you know, so that's the answer. So we do what we can do. Do we understand? We don't understand. Does it mean that we never will understand? No. The Rebbeinu Shalom assures us that will there come a time that we will understand. But we as the Shutzim in the Nasa Adam, as partners in the making of the man, we are able to do things for the Nifter that he can no longer do for himself today. So even though there are Tukkunim in the next world, but the Shutzim in the Nasa Adam, the partners in the making of the man, they have the ability to do this below that which he cannot do above. They have the ability to finish out the job. And one of the ways is Limud HaTorah, because we don't know what the Tikkunim are. So Limud HaTorah, as I say, it's good for whatever ails you. It's Kibi Masaka, no matter what the thing. And Reb Chaim Volozhin says that, there's a famous Gemara, it says, Mefash V'Masa B'Loi Motza, right, Bittul Torah. Very hard to understand. So there are many terutzim to it. But Chaim Volozhin says, what's a pshat? Mefashvish b'masa, if you look in, the Rebbeinu Shalom runs mida keneged mida this world. So therefore, if you're mefashvish b'masa and you can't figure out what's the mida keneged mida, why did this thing take place? So you attribute it to Bittul Torah. Why? Because Bittul Torah has the ability to be misaken everything. So therefore, it's able to manifest itself in any form or fashion. So if you can't figure out what it is, that means that the problem is Bittul Torah. But on the positive side, it also means that Limud HaTorah has the ability to be misaken, whatever it may be, that the things that were not yet done. So we learn Mishnayos in this course. But one of the things that we do is we write a Sefer Torah in this course, and we publicly learn Torah. That is the purpose of Kriyas HaTorah. It's Limud Torah b'Fahesya, for the schos of the P'tira. We are able to do for other people that they can no longer do for themselves. And it's a great schos, and I appreciated everybody who was mishtatev, both in this simcha and mishtatev in this mitzvah, to the Kriyas HaTorah, the Ksivas HaTorah, that we will now have the first opportunity, Mitzvah Hashem, this Shabbos, to learn from this Sefer Torah. The Bungalow Colony never had a permanent Sefer Torah of its own, and it's time that we do that, and it's a good thing that we do it as schus. We now have an ability to do something over here for the benefit of someone above. And I thank everybody for being mishtatev, and I thank everybody who will now listen to Kriyas HaTorah this Shabbos, and who will be mishtatev in the schus of Limud HaTorah b'Fahesya, that my son-in-law, who, as I said, I make no distinctions between my son and my son-in-law, between my son, and a schus for my son, who's the Olam Abbas, so we can help him from here below, even though there may be things that he cannot do yet any longer for himself. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Radilon, Rosh Rosh Hashiva, the Bachonim Ba'abonim Rabbi the Berachel Heinu Shechalem Shaloi, Berachel Heinu Shechalem Shaloi, the Berachel Yeinu, Naturat Yeinu,
Yeah. time will heal. Thank you.
love.